I have this photograph. My husband is lying on the couch in our little medical school house. He's got a textbook open across his chest, highlighter in hand. And our son, who was just small, just asleep on him, completely out, like he had no idea his dad was in the middle of studying for an exam that would determine the rest of our lives. I've looked at that photograph 100 times over the years, and for a long time, what I saw when I looked at it was exhaustion. It was the uncertainty. It was the feeling that we had no clue of how we were doing it. But here's what I've been thinking about lately. What did my kids see? Welcome back to Supporting Physician Spouses. I am your host, Kendra Harvey, and this is the podcast for physician spouses who are done white-knuckling through medical training and beyond. Each episode, we go deep on the real stuff: finances, identity, relocations, career, family dynamics, and the marriage underneath it all. And today, we go somewhere a little different, because I think your kids might be having a different experience than the one you're having. And I think that's worth knowing. Before I bring in the kids, I want to tell you why I made this episode. There is a story that gets told about physician families, that the career is all-consuming, and it can be, that the hours are incompatible with real presence, that the spouse at home is the parent and the physician is just adjacent to the family, kind of keeping the lights on from a distance. And I've lived inside that story for a long time, and parts of it were true. I was doing a lot of it alone, more than ever felt fair and more than I ever expected or anticipated. But my husband was not an absent father. He didn't hand that role back because his schedule was impossible. He showed up differently than I did, sometimes in smaller windows of time, sometimes in ways I didn't fully notice or appreciate in the moment, and our kids noticed. This episode is my tribute to him, and it is also, I hope, a gift to you, the woman who is in the years of residency or medical school, or somewhere in the middle of a season that just feels endless. The one who's doing so much alone that she started to wonder if her kids are going to be okay, if they're missing him too much, and if this is going to leave a mark. I want you to hear what my kids have to say because I think it might change something for you. Our oldest is 21 now. He was born during medical school, which means he has been part of this journey from the very beginning, even if he doesn't remember all of it. Medical school is its own particular season. There's no paycheck yet. There's no title yet. There is just the work, the loans, and the quiet faith that it's all going to end up somewhere good. So our son was born into that. He is the baby in the photograph that I was talking about. He's also the little boy in his dad's arms at medical school graduation, which is one of my favorite images. And he's old enough now to hold the full arc of the story, and he's watched his dad become a neurosurgeon. So we're going to start with him. So, Ethan, what is your earliest memory of Dad?
That's hard. I don't remember much about when he was in residency. I remember nothing from when I was born, so not even a chance of medical school. I'd say earliest memory would probably be during his residency when I was about 5 years old. We went to go see Wall-E in theaters. So he took me to see the movie, and I got a little watch from the concession stand.
Did you ever feel like medicine had taken him away from you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a very demanding and busy career. There were like decent stints where I wouldn't see him. He'd wake up in the morning and go to work, and then I'd wake up for school. I'm like, where's Dad? It's like, oh, he's at work. And then there'd be, while he was in residency, it'd be like a couple days in a row where it's just like, oh, I guess he's going to be home soon.
What do you think it did for you growing up watching him work so long and hard towards something he really wanted?
I mean, it definitely contextualized the importance of that kind of work. Like, it was clearly something he wanted to do. It was something he was passionate about. He was doing it to be able to provide for us and to be able to give us the kind of life that he wanted to give us. And so I understood that part. And so it wasn't always super difficult for me, but I would say that kind of instilled in me the idea that I should do my best to provide for those who are under my care. But it also taught me the relationship between hard work and the rewards that come from it. But yeah, from that, like, I'd say that's the biggest takeaway from seeing like how hard he worked and stuff like that, is just understanding the reason for it and then kind of applying that for my own future, I guess.
Do you have any desire whatsoever to be in medicine?
No. No. And it's not out of fear for long hours or anything like that. I've seen the pictures of his surgeries and I'm like, oh, that's not for me. And so that kind of turned me off medicine pretty quickly. Like, I find it fascinating, but I have a lot of respect for the medical community, but I don't personally want to be a surgeon. I could maybe be like a pharmacist, but not a surgeon. Anesthesiologist maybe, but nothing like that.
So what would you want to say to a kid who is in the middle of it? Their dad is in medical residency. Is there anything you'd want to say that to them, or even to any kid whose dad isn't home as much as maybe they'd like?
Just be patient. Most of the times, like especially with the medical field, it's kind of a delayed reward. It's going to be a couple years of just grinding and just grueling labor, but it's not so bad when you get out of it. Nowadays, I see my dad basically every day. I usually see him when he goes to work. I'm almost always home and awake when he comes back, except for kind of longer days. But yeah, I'd say just be patient. Spend the time that you do have with him well, because that is still important that he's there. And odds are he does want to be a part of your life and of your growth. So just make sure you take the opportunities and let him.
Is there something about your dad that you think other people would be surprised to know?
He has a bit of a nerdy side,
Oh.
which I inherited, so it's fun. Like, he's almost more into collecting Legos and such than I am.
Sure.
And it's great because it means we can split the collection. So it does become easy, but you look at him and that's not usually your first thought, but he loves Legos, loves Star Wars, loves Star Trek, stuff like that. And it's really fun when I get to spend time sharing in those hobbies with him, just because like I'm the only boy in the family, and so like I don't really have anyone else to do that with, because, you know, 4 younger sisters, I mean, some of our interests overlap, but most of them don't. And so, yeah, I'd say that.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I still can't believe that I have a child who is 21 and a half years old now. I was not prepared for some of what my kids told me, and Ethan was just the beginning. My eldest daughter is now 19. She was born in the first year of residency, 5 months into intern year. For those of you who know, you know what that means. And for those of you who don't, it's the year everything gets harder. The training is real now. The responsibility is real. The hours are longer, and the pay is famously not. We had 2 children then, under 2. Adrian, a brand new resident, and I was figuring it out mostly alone. Now, my daughter won't have clear memories of being a baby in that season, but she grew up inside the story of it. She's heard the details. She has an older brother who remembers some of it, and she has her own memories of the years that followed, when she was old enough to feel the shape of our life, even though she couldn't have named it. So I asked her. So, Kate, what do you remember about Dad from when you were little?
I remember we used to sit on the couch. By the time he got home, it was time for bed. So we would sit on the couch and we would have books ready. And then we would read books together, and it was always fun. He came home and played.
Oh, that's sweet. Did it ever feel like he wasn't around enough?
I think at that age, I understood that he went to work, and I don't think I had any other kids to base it off of. I just assumed that all dads were gone all day and came back around bedtime, so it was kind of normal for me, so I never really thought, oh, where's Dad? It was kind of just, oh, Dad will be home when it's time to get ready for bed, I guess.
Yeah. What is a memory that you have of him from those early years that has maybe stayed with you? So we're talking like under 5.
Okay. I remember like waking up for my birthday, and I think he was there. And I like you guys had decorated for me, and he was there, or I just remember him reading books on the couch. Like that's like, I mean, I was 5.
Right. That's a core memory,
Yeah.
which is funny because I don't remember that.
You don't?
No.
Okay, I remember we would like watch like the backyardigans or something, and Dad would sit on the couch with us, and he would like fall asleep, and then we'd get up and read books and go to bed.
Huh.
That's like the things that I remember. I don't really have like a specific memory. I mean, I remember him being there, but like that's probably the most vivid one that I have.
When Dad finished fellowship, then you were 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we moved into our house in Arizona, you were 7. Did you remember thinking something was weird, like the houses that we lived in before? And then what did you notice, if anything, changing at that time?
It just felt normal. Like I thought that's just what everyone did. Like, oh, time to move on to the next house, or oh, like, okay, we're going again. This will be fun. I always liked moving into new houses because the first day you're there is always like really weird. Yeah, I always liked moving around. I mean, it was fun.
Do you remember the first vacation that we went on?
Yes. That was the Disney cruise? Yes, I do remember. That's probably one of the more vivid memories I have from really early on, because I must have been kindergarten. Yeah. I remember we used to drive down to Galveston just to look at the Disney cruise, just to look at it, and then we would turn around and drive back home. And then
How sad.
it's okay. No, we loved it. No, but one day Dad was like, oh, let's just go do that. And we were like, okay, let's pile in the car. And we like pull up, and Dad's like, should we go park? And we had never parked before, so it was kind of weird. We are like, okay. So we go parked, and then he turns off the car and gets out. And he's like, okay, let's go get on the boat. And we're like, huh? Like, we could get on the boat? Yeah, I have a lot of memories from that one. And like the formal night where we're all wearing our dresses and meeting the princesses. I remember that.
I'm curious to know, what did you know or think about that season, specifically when we were in Illinois and Texas the first time, that you didn't understand then that you understand now?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt normal. Like you had told us, like, Dad's at work and he won't be home until later, or, oh, Dad's working, and I just thought everyone's dad was like that. So it really just felt normal to me. I mean, yeah, I missed him, but that's how it was.
You didn't know any different.
Yes. Yeah, there was nothing for me to base it off of. Just felt normal.
No big deal.
Day in the life of 5-year-old Kate.
Let me ask you, because you're my oldest girl.
Yeah.
What was I like then? Do you remember?
I think you were fun. I'm trying to. Okay. I have only glimpses of Dad when I was that little. I don't have glimpses of you.
Okay.
I remember losing teeth and showing you. I remember doing that. I remember getting ready for bed and nap time specifically.
Yeah, we were big on nap time.
Big on nap time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you
I
were
wasn't
nice.
crazy.
You weren't crazy, no.
Okay. He felt crazy, but I didn't come off as crazy. That's important.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, just normal mom.
Okay. What do you think about your dad now?
I think he's great. I mean, what he does is really cool. I think it's funny when I tell people what my dad does and they all go, oh my gosh. And yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool. It's nice to have someone who knows how to be a doctor, I guess.
Yeah, comes in handy.
Comes in handy. Like, oh, my head hurts. Oh, we'll do this. Or,
Yeah, what do you usually say, though, when you say my head hurts?
oh, drink water. It'll go away. Thank you. You're welcome.
And then our third daughter was born. Macy, who is now 17, arrived at the beginning of 3rd year of residency, which meant we were now 3 children into a long journey that still had no clear end date on the horizon. Now, 3rd year seems like it should almost be the middle, but it's a little bit before the middle. We were in the groove of things. The adrenaline of starting something new had definitely worn off. The relief of finishing isn't really close enough to feel yet, and you're just kind of in it. Doing the work, holding the life together, trusting that it's going to go somewhere, even on the days when it's very difficult to believe. When Macy was just a year old, Adrian had a 6-month rotation 3 hours away. He lived there. He came home when he could, and I was home with a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. That was one of the hardest seasons we had. What I didn't fully appreciate at the time is that kids don't experience absence in the way that we do. They experience what is in front of them. So I wanted to know what she remembered. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to know, what is your strongest memory of Dad from when you were growing up?
I feel like it's kind of a cluster of memories, but like the strongest memory or like connections that I ever felt with him was whenever we would do like races together, like turkey trots or mini Ironmans that were like 1 mile long. But I always got so excited to wake up in the morning and go run with him in a little race. But it just seemed like such a personal kind of thing that he like would make time for me.
Yeah,
Do that with me.
do you remember the first race that you did?
I'm pretty sure that it was like whenever he went to do an Ironman race in like St. George or something. They had a
Okay.
kids one, and like I did that with Ethan, but I like thought that I was so cool with the little Ironman medal that was like sort of matching his.
That was pretty cool. And I don't even remember what year that was,
Nope.
but it was a long time
It was a
ago.
while ago.
All right. Did you ever feel like your dad's job got in the way of like his family or his relationship with you?
Not necessarily. I feel like obviously there was some time like restraints, I guess, because he would be gone for like whole days or nights, and sometimes we wouldn't see him on Saturdays. But whenever he was with us, he did make an effort to like try to develop relationships and like be close to us, even though he didn't have a whole lot of time relative to like the time that he spent with us and the time that he spent at work. Like it still felt like it was special, and he wasn't like too burnt out whenever he was trying to talk with us.
So when you were little, like prior to this, I kind of set it all up. Like you were born the beginning, like 2 days after he started his 3rd year of neurosurgery residency. And so you were still pretty little during that time. But what did you think your dad's job was when you were younger?
I knew that he was a doctor. I don't think that I completely understood that that meant like surgeries and everything. I thought it just meant that you would go to a hospital and talk to people and make them feel better, but not physically, just like as if you were like comforting somebody. Like, oh, he goes to work and he makes people feel better. Aw, cute.
Aww.
Yeah.
I'll say at that point, probably the only interaction you had with doctors was like going to a pediatrician appointment, and that's
Yeah,
probably what it kind of felt
probably.
like. Oh. Is there something about your dad that you think people would be surprised by?
Like if someone heard that he was a doctor and like something that they would be surprised, like, oh, as a dad, you have this about you too, I guess.
You can answer it however you like.
Probably that he's just humble. Like people who like do meet him, like if they hear that he's a neurosurgeon, they automatically, I think, assume like with that stereotype that he like spends his money on like a billion things, like super expensive. Like, oh, you probably live in like a mansion and have like 50 cars and stuff like that. Because like that's
we
just
don't.
But like I feel like people wouldn't expect him to be as considerate of like other factors, I guess. Like he's not just doing stuff because he can. He like thinks about his family and like what they need first before he like thinks about like, oh, what could I have? Like even though he could get like a lot of things that he might really want, he prioritizes like our needs and our time.
That's awesome. Sarah is 14. She was born in the 5th year of my husband's neurosurgery residency. And I mean that almost literally. Sarah's arrival and the news of Adrian's fellowship acceptance came in at almost the same time. And for those who don't know what it means, fellowship is additional specialty training after residency, which meant that just as the finish line came into view, it moved again. I will tell you honestly that I was at the end of my rope, pregnant with my 4th child, staring down another chapter of training. Sarah came into a family that was caring a lot, and she also came into a family that was still choosing to stay in it together, still finding ways to show up for each other, even when the circumstances made that genuinely hard. Her memories of those years will be early, but sometimes the youngest ones hold the most surprising truths because they weren't old enough to filter what they observed. They just felt it. Okay, so Sarah, what do you think his job is actually like? Do you have any idea?
I think it's a lot of like waking up very early in the morning
Yeah.
and really long hours, long surgeries, long clinics, a lot of difficult people and little difficult coworkers and patients too.
Yeah. How old were you when you realized what your dad did?
Like 12.
Really?
Yeah, I was lost I had no idea what it was. I had a vague concept of what it was, but I couldn't explain it to people until I was about 12.
What do you think surprises people the most when they find out your dad's a neurosurgeon?
Probably just the fact that he's a neurosurgeon. They'll like ask me like, "Oh, look what your dad do," and I'll say, "Oh, he's a neurosurgeon," and then they'll just ask me about questions like about like the brain, but I can't answer.
They think you know everything.
They think I
because
know that everything because my dad's a neurosurgeon.
That's what we sit at home and talk about.
Yeah.
When he's home.
Yeah.
Do you remember much from when you were little? Like, what's your earliest memory of?
The earliest memory of dad at work?
Or just in general of dad?
The one that comes to mind was when he was in Phoenix and we went to go drop him off lunch and his nurses came out and gave us lollipops.
Okay.
Because I was like 4.
Okay. That would probably be about right.
Yeah.
Start seeing some memories. Do you ever wish things had been different when you were little?
Not really.
Yeah.
I was just kind of frolicking.
What's something about your dad that you think other kids don't get to have?
I'm sure other kids do get to have it, but I think he is genuinely curious about how your day went or like what you're doing in school and will want to help you with that or like explain it to you, not just like do the work for you, but like help you learn.
Did you ever get the feeling like your dad was too busy for you and didn't have time for you?
Not really, no. I mean, he was gone a lot. I felt like that was weird. Or he'd go to conferences in like Europe. Or like,
I know, no fair.
no fair. No, yeah, I think he was just like gone a lot. I don't think it was, but it wasn't for like weeks on end. It was for like 4 or 5 days.
Do you remember it ever bothering you that he was gone so much?
I don't think so, because I had a lot of siblings to like keep me entertained.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anything else about your dad or about life you want to share?
Not off the top of my head.
You think he's a pretty good dad?
Yeah, I think he's a good dad.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then there is Scarlett. Scarlett came 3 years after fellowship ended. She has never known the training years. She grew up with a completely different backdrop than her siblings. The older 4 remember the training years in one way or another. Scarlett's entire childhood has been the after. The financial uncertainty that had defined so much of our early years had shifted. Adrian was an attending neurosurgeon. The chapter that the rest of her siblings had been born into, the waiting, the grinding, the not yet, that was technically over. Which made me curious. What does a dad look like to a child who has only ever known this version of him? Can you tell everybody what your dad does for work?
He's a neurosurgeon, which is like a doctor for your brain, like tumors and stuff.
Yeah.
So
What's your favorite thing about him?
he like cares about me, my sisters, and my brother a lot. And like he cares about all of us, love us, and support us, and give us this beautiful house and delicious food.
Oh, delicious food. That is important. Yeah. Is your dad a good cook?
Yeah, he good cook.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about him?
Like, if someone is, like, if, let's say, if, like, someone was hurt and he is, and, like, here's hospital, then he like wouldn't give up unless there was nothing to do.
Have you visited Dad's patients in the hospital before? Did you like that?
Well, it was kind of scary because one guy was like, "Can I take the bandages off?" And I was like, "Is there something underneath that?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Eh." And then Dad like saw my face and he was like, "All right, well, hope you get better." And like he went out and says like, "Okay." And then we go to like this keyboard that was right by it, and it's just a window, and he's taking off the bandages and there's nothing there.
Okay.
But like Dad noticed that I was like kind of getting a little
wheezy.
like I didn't want to see that.
What's your favorite part about going to the hospital with Dad?
Maybe see how he helps people and what he does.
I thought it was the doctor's lounge.
Oh yeah, that's after. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but it's after that. Yeah,
After that.
it's fun just going there. It's nice because like his workers are all nice and they're like, "Oh, would you like something?"
Yeah, they're very nice to you when you. Yeah.
Because I'm little.
Yeah. Do you feel like he's around enough?
Well, it depends.
And
Like sometimes I get like hurt, and then sometimes like I like it because like sometimes when he's at work, he comes home and he's near a lot of places where you can get dinner. So sometimes we can get dinner because he could pick it up.
oh yeah, we do like it when Dad's on his way home and picks up dinner. So, is he home enough?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Does he work a lot?
Yeah, he works a lot. Like sometimes I remember like once he didn't come home and he came home like really late at midnight.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it, but like I could tell that he can't lay in it.
Yeah. What do you want people to know about your dad?
That he helps people because he wants to help them like get better, and because he cares for us to get like lots of shelter and fun things to do, like going on a vacation or something.
I bet that's one of your favorite things to do,
Yeah.
is go on vacation.
I just remember like on Disney Cruise, I'll see him and he's just checking us in with the passports and everything, and I'm like, I can't wait because I'm sitting down and I can't wait to go in, and like they say our name and stuff, and it's fun.
Yeah. Your dad plans some really good vacations, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. All right. So, do you have anything you want to tell Dad for Father's Day?
Dad. He is probably my favorite dad.
Oh, he's your favorite dad.
Yeah. In fact, like, I don't have any other dads, but if I did, then he'd be my favorite dad out of all the dads. So, like, the greatest dad.
Okay.
And the kindest.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
5 kids, 5 windows into the same life, and not one of them said what I expected. When I was in the middle of those years, the medical school years, the residency years, the fellowship years, the season when I was doing so much alone, I was convinced that my children were experiencing what I was experiencing, that the absence was landing on them in the same way that it was landing on me. They remember him, his presence when he was there, his hands, his voice, the way he showed up. They weren't cataloging the nights he missed. They were holding on to the mornings he was there. When we got our signing bonus for his first job, we were in the middle of fellowship, and to celebrate, we took a Disney cruise. This is the first vacation that we had as a family. At the time, there were the 6 of us, so we had 4 little kids. And I remember, you heard one of my daughters talk about it, but I specifically remember standing on the deck and watching Adrian with the kids, all of them around him, laughing and thinking that we finally made it. Not just through training, but through everything that it asked of us. He was and is present for them in ways I didn't always see because I was too busy trying to survive to look up. So if you were in the middle of a hard season right now, if you are the one at home doing the invisible work, feeling the weight of everything, I want you to hear this. Your children are watching their father become something remarkable, and they are going to remember it. You are not failing them by being in a hard season. And your partner, even if his hours are impossible, even if the schedule is brutal, even if it feels like he is more absent than present, he may be showing up for your kids in ways you haven't had the bandwidth to fully see. It does get better. There is more goodness in front of you than survival mode is letting you see. Before I go, I want to leave you with something simple. Father's Day is just a few days away, and I know that for some of you, this holiday can feel a little complicated, not unlike Mother's Day. And celebrating him can feel like one more thing on your list, but here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to notice. Notice the way your partner is showing up as a parent, even in a demanding season, even in the small moments. The bedtime story he read when he got home, the Saturday mornings he took the kids so you could sleep in, the way your child's face changes when he walks through the door. And then tell him. Not because he needs the validation more than you do, but because everyone wants to feel seen. He is doing something hard too. Notice it now. And maybe this Father's Day, let that be the gift. That is our episode today. To Adrian, thank you for being the kind of dad our kids want to talk about. I am so proud of who you are and what you have built for our family and for the patients who trust you with their most important and vulnerable moments of their lives. Happy Father's Day. And to you, the listener, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And if this episode meant something to you, share it with another physician spouse who needs to hear it. Send it to your husband. I will see you next week. It gets better now.